everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching This Show. I just wanted to have a little mini-sode where I wanted to say a few words about Betty White. She just passed. And
cheers, ma'am. Cheers. R.I.P. to a legend.
Ooh. Drinking vodka rocks with some lime because she drank this every night. She often said it was the secret to her longevity.
I mean, I have booze pretty much every single night, so you know. Oh, so far, doing so well.
I just wanted to say a few things because I adored Betty White, and this is like before the like trend. This isn't me being like hipster. It's like to contextualize. But she had this like renaissance in 2010 with all the like hosting SNL, and she was like the oldest host to host SNL and all that. But I grew up watching Nick at Night. I knew her. She was the only part of Mary Tyler Moore that I understood when I was like 10. I loved I loved all of her cameos and stuff, but she very specifically, she narrated a book series called A Day at ... And one would be a day at the mall, a day at the aquarium, a day at the farm. And it was, I think, a brother and sister, and they would go on these adventures. And we had the audio cassettes, and we would listen to them on the way down to Disney World, because we would go for spring break every year. And it was wild to me. I liked them so much because they were children's books, but they were books. So the tapes were like 90 minutes long. And I didn't understand that. Like, I didn't know that that an audiobook was a thing. This is like 92, 94, 96. And so my mom, because I always had a hard time reading, I'm not dyslexic diagnosed or anything like that. But I remember my mom explaining to me that was a book that I was like, so not only did it pass the time in a time before smart devices and all of that, but she was like, that counts as reading a book. And so I remember getting so much joy from that. And again, it was just her voice, just her warm, gentle, dulcet tone. And kind of from there, like, I've read books. I've even written one myself.
Fairy tale, Amazon.com.
But for the most part, I do audiobooks. It's easier for me to process. And there's this part of me my whole life that anytime I listen to a book, I would think about Betty White.
Interesting.
And it's just sort of, I think that was that. I wish I could tell her that feels so like her legacy, that she found a way to open a world to me that I didn't think was open to me.
I think she did that for a lot of people, because she had that tap dancer on her TV show, and they wanted to like cut his time, and she was like, no, and deal with it. And then her show got canceled immediately after that.
You just wonder, I don't know how some people, because we're so used to like excusing the past, and we're like, well, they were from a different time. And it's like, she's from that time, and she was good and right. And I don't know. I just think she was so funny. I think it was the perfect balance of bubblegum and acid.
Yeah.
Don't you like there was just something. She was very rarely mean.
No, but she was
sharp.
She could be bawdy when she wanted to be, but I think sharp is a more appropriate description of who she was.
And she, like I said, she had that renaissance. And I mean, I think to have a renaissance at 89, and I think it's the rare gift that we have so many artists. And I mean, a couple weeks ago, we went to the Van Gogh immersive exhibit, and famously, he never knew his legacy. And so many people, it's like we celebrate them after they've died. And she's one of the rare people that got to do a 10-year victory lap.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild. And it just, I was so desperate for her to make it to 100. And I think this is actually so funny.
Yeah.
I think she would like, because she was at an award show 2 or 3 years ago. And it was the first time that I was like, oh, she looks old. Because she didn't look old. She was always so pretty. I mean, even into, and also tell me why I put on Golden Girls last night.
Oh, that's wild. Wow. Okay.
I'm trying to think what triggered it, but which I mean, that's one of like 10 shows I put on to go to bed, but it's been admit it. And I don't know, but no, it's I had sort of been bracing every time that ever since that award show, I was bracing for the inevitable news.
Well, everyone, I feel like made the joke that anytime Betty White was trending on Twitter, everyone's like, oh my God, is she fucking die? And it was always just kind of like, you know, top 10 best Betty White moments, whatever. And it's like, stop doing that to me, people.
But literally, like 2 weeks ago, they were like, her 100th birthday is in a month. And I was like, she did it. I started to celebrate. I put all those eggs in that basket because we were almost to market.
She said, joke's on y'all.
But the gag is, and I think that's so funny. I think that's so funny to be days from it and just sort of. Also, I want to know what she saw.
Oh, yeah.
On New Year's Eve. She saw something, was like, I'm not going to stick around. I'm going to let you jokers deal with that. Because she's also the one who, there's a famous phrase when loved ones die, and now they know. Do you know that? So she introduced it to me. I didn't know it before I heard her say it, but she was talking about it's what's taken the edge off of death and grief for her is that when someone dies, I think it was her grandmother or her mother or something, would just say, now they know.
Oh, okay. That's nice. I like
and there's
that.
Something about it that it's like, and it's how I dealt with, I'm like, it's how I dealt with my grandmother dying. And there's just something about that, like, and now she knows.
Yeah, and now she knows to knowing.
So yeah, I just wanted to leave with some words and some parting thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked about doing this, I was like, I don't really have anything to say just because I am not like a huge Golden Girls stan. It was just something that would like come on TV sometimes during the summer if we were like out playing and we like got to sneak inside and it was on after Beverly Hillbillies and Good Times. So she was never like a super big fixture, but she was like around and I was very aware of her and I found her to be extremely charming and
big fairy godmother energy.
Yeah. And I just love a funny woman, you know, that was always a big thing for me. So I wish I had more to say. I mean, I'm sad she's gone and the world will be a little dimmer because she's not in it. But
it doesn't feel like a loss.
No. It was her time. She must have been so tired. I mean, to be 99 years old, woof. So, you know, I think I love that she went out on her terms. I think it was important for her to leave like right before her 100th birthday. And like, I just think that's
the great. Joke's on us. Because now, and I mean, I feel bad for all of these like reporters and editors and stuff because they've all prepared these packages for like 100. And now they're kind of like,
yeah,
but I mean, isn't that not? I don't know. It's a good. I mean, she was a prankster, and I think it's a pretty good prank.
Yeah, I agree. I find it to be very appropriate, very on brand for her.
All right. Well, hopefully, that's the end of 2021, and we will see you in 2022 with better news. It'll be great.
Oh yeah, 2022 is going to be awesome.
Not going to be my year.
Not without its challenges. You know, we're going into it realistically, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So I'm excited.
Thank you.
I don't know. Jazz hands. Goodbye.